to start with, we're going to need to plant the base. So we're going to take out our little block placer. We're going to start from the end point and go out as far as you want to make the house. Next, we're going to need to make our wall. So first, we're going to need to position ourselves into a place where we are actually able to build the wall. So we're going to go into the bottom here and press this little hand and just pull ourselves away. Maybe go into the camera and just turn it a little bit so that we're able to see. Now, to actually make your wall, you're going to need to grab your rectangle box making thing. You're going to put it on where you want on your blue horizontal line, and then you're going to pull it out to make sure that it is in line with the corner of where you want it to be. Right, now this is where you're gonna start making your creation 3D. You're gonna come here and you're gonna grab the push/pull box. You're gonna click on it and then click on the wall you want. Now you can pull it in and out as far as you want to create the shape of the box that you originally wanted. So this base wall is not going to be enough to let us start building the actual doorway itself. We are going to need to build the other two walls just here quickly so that we can actually use them to build the door. Right, so now we're going to get to building our doorway, but before that you're going to have to quickly make your other two walls 3D just as you did with the first one. Okay, now that we have all of our other walls done, we can actually start to build the doorway. First, we're going to spin our camera to a place where we can see both of the walls we're going to be using to build the doorway. You're going to need to get your rectangular shape and build something which will look sort of like a second base wall. Then you're going to join that one up with your base wall, but only just slightly. Now I'm going to start paint the inside of my house. So I'm going to press on this paint bucket to the left in our little tool selection kit, and then I'm going to choose the colour I want it to be. So I want it maybe red. So I'm going to click on red and I'm going to press on the inside floor. Now if we zoom in, you can see that the inside is now red. So then now that our house is beautifully painted, we're going to start to building the roof. We're going to take out our rectangular wall and we're going to build one more base wall off of the baseline, off of the horizontal line I mean. Now I want a slanted roof. What I'm going to do is from the base wall, I'm going to go to the midpoint and grab that and pull it down to the opposite end. Then I'm going to stretch it out and I'm going to make two of those next to each other so it looks like a slanted roof, a bit like this. I think a plain house is a bit too boring, so what I'm going to do now actually is make a balcony. So of course we are going to start off with another base wall, and that is going to come off of our house here. Right. Then after our base wall, we are going to pull it out. Right, so now what we are going to do is grab the end point from where we have built our wall, and we're going to build out sort of a ramp like this. Next, we are going to need to take our pencil. Then what we are going to have to do is turn our camera into the position where we can see everything that we have just drawn. And we are going to need to cut all the edges that we are not going to be using, because in most cases this is going to come out most likely far too large than it needs to be. So we're going to do that. Then going to get this mouse in the top left of our toolkit, and we are going to press on the platform that we are no longer using and then delete it with backspace. Now after we have built that platform, we are going to build one more base wall off of it. So then it should look a bit like this. Off of that base wall you just built, you are going to build one more slanted sort of roof as we did for the top of the house. This is going to be used as the staircase. Now, we're going to make this look a bit more clean. So what we need to do is fill in the gap that we will have left out between the two base walls we used to build the ramp up to our balcony. Next, we are going to put our camera into a position where we can see the top of the balcony. And we are going to try to build 2 safety rails. To build the safety rails, we are going to need to use our rectangular building tool once more. We're going to go from the end point of where into the top left corner of the first base wall. Then we are going to build it against the edge of where we started building the first base wall. That's going to be your first safety rail. The second, we are going to do the same, but at the top left corner of the second safety rail. Now, we are going to need our pull/push tool for this. So I'm going to push my camera position into somewhere where I can actually see both of the handrails. Next, I'm going to pull out my pull/push tool. And I'm just using this to make the handrails look a little more realistic. Bam. We can also color these in if we wanted to. I'm going to make mine red, just as I did with the inside of the house.